Okay, hi guys, and welcome to another quick review. This time we're taking a look at the TFZ Live X. TFZ is a short for the fragrant zither. They make a few good earphones, the TFC number 3, and I think there was another one with the 3 in it that I quite liked. They usually do very good budget bass, and I've liked a lot of their headphones in the past. This is not. This I'm not recommending at all. We'll just jump into the box. As I said, this is going to be super quick because I don't think it's worth wasting too much time. The box is actually, they've made an effort. It looks quite good. The headphones were in here with a cable stored under this little slot. And there was a few tips in the top compartment there. You know, nice packaging, which when I saw it I was like, oh, they made a little bit more effort than the original box they had for the number 3s. Then I opened it up and I was looking at the earphones and I was like, nah, they look kind of cheap. You know, they look like I would say a $20-30 earphone, just from the type of resin build. It's not a full resin like you get on Fearless or The Audio. It's actually a faceplate with a distinct line down there, which you can see that line and it's glued in. It's kind of a little bit of a rough edge. It has the KZ style hooded connector, which I have said I'm actually becoming more of a fan of recently, but that alludes to maybe these are something that KZ have got their fingers in. That's not a bad thing or not, but it's got this little venting design just here. I think these drivers, it's dynamic driver or maybe a dual dynamic driver, and it's gold, nano gold coated. If you want a good laugh, go and read the TFC description of their own earphones. Somebody from that company needs to get a translator on board, and if you're going to publish something in English, don't just use Google Translate or whatever you're using, because they have... I don't really mind if you're translating it from Chinese into English, but when you're using that as your marketing material, it comes across looking really grandiose, like over the top, like you're promising too much, and I think it gives the wrong impression. It has a metal nozzle, which I quite like, bonded to the resin shell. It just gives more durability if it hits the ground. Metal vents on the top of it. And the cable that comes with this one is actually really nice. It's a quad twist into dual twist after the splitter. It has a metal body, but it looks kind of cheap with this gold finish on it. Strain relief's good. Cable tie on it's good. It has strain relief here and another metal gold part there, but there's no cable cinch. And up at the top you have the KZ style hooded connectors, which I say I prefer them than sitting to the flush with the earphone, but you do have the problem where you can't get a lot of aftermarket cables for that yet, although I'm going to expect that that situation is going to change rapidly. And it's actually a very good cable. It winds up well, it doesn't retain a lot of memory, it's nice, soft, pliable, it flows really well. It's got a straight pin jog. It's a gold plated. Yeah, the cable's really good, but it's on par with other stuff that's about $50. The housing, I would say, is on par with something in the range of $20-30. You know, this is KZ quality. In fact, I would hesitate to say that a lot of the $50 KZs, like the ASX and so on, they're actually better built than this. So that withstanding, when I pulled them out the box, I knew nothing about these earphones before they arrived. They arrived, I took them out the box, I was like, I took the box out, I was like, oh, it's a nice looking box. I was like, maybe this is something in you know, on box alone, I was like, maybe this is something in the $100 range or something like that, maybe $120. I took them out and I was like, maybe it's $50 to $100 range, but then the box didn't make sense. And then I went and checked the price, and I saw that these were $225. And I was like, okay, maybe they're doing something special with the sound. Maybe they're, you know, maybe there's something special about them that I don't know. I've never heard of gold nano coating. It seems that a strange choice. Usually you would use beryllium's the super popular one, but beryllium's been around for a long time now. You know, carbon coated diaphragms, graphene, that sort of stuff, ceramic coated drivers. So whatever they were doing in there, I was like, oh, maybe that's the key to why they're pricing it so high. And then I put it in my ears, and it's been a while since I've disliked something when I've on that initial impression. The bass is super strong. It's overwhelming, and it's kind of bloomy. The vocal sounded really good. I was listening to Gregory Porter Concord, and his vocal sounded really good, but the details, and there's cymbal splashes in that, and cymbal splashes or anything like electronic that has some sort of that electronic distortion, you know, the deliberate distortion sounds, it doesn't sound like it's deliberate distortion, it sounds like it's a defect distortion. The bass is too prominent, and it swamps the rest of the sound quite badly. But the mids and the highs are actually, they sound nice underneath that. If you can block out the low end, it's just the low end kind of distorts everything, and it makes it kind of I feel like there's details getting lost that I hear with other earphones, and I wouldn't even recommend them just as a bass head earphone, because their own TFZ number 3 does a better job of being a big heavy impact bass head IEM, and it still sounds quite good in the mid-range, and maybe the highs are a little bit peaky on it, but this sounds like it's just clouded. It's like it's too bloomy in that bass end for me. So I didn't like it. And if we're going to talk about this being $225 on build quality, etc., right next to this you have, at $30 less, I think it's $195 on Linso, maybe about the same on Amazon. You have the new T-Audio Legacy 4, which is tuned absolutely fantastically. It's tuned very similar to the T-Audio Monarch, which are an excellent headphone. It doesn't sound exactly the same, just because it's the T-Audio, the Legacy 4 use a different driver, type of driver. They don't use the electrostatics and stuff, but the tuning wise, it's excellent. It's got good bass, it's got excellent details, it's got that. You know, even in that price range, Peacock Audio P1, you have the Titanium or Titanium Oxygen, you have the Tipsy Dunmer, you have lots of options around that. The Audio Legacy 5 is at $250, so $25 more than that. So before this video goes over 10 minutes, I'm going to say that these are not for me. If you're looking at $225, spend $30 less, get the Legacy 4. You're still going to get good bass, you're going to get better performance everywhere else. And I think that, you know, if you're looking at that, or Tin Hi-Fi P1 still, I don't really care what people are saying about that. Tin Hi-Fi P1 to me still punches so far above its weight. It's $150. Although it's not going to be as bass orientated. But yeah, I'm keeping this under 10 minutes. So thanks for the review, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.